not only, was Julian living there, and dealing with what he had to deal with living there, had to make sure he had enough firewood to stay warm during the night. The crew, we slept there also when we were there. And so now the little space he had to stay is being shared with about 6 other people, and I'm not talking 6 other people with beds and, with mattresses or anything. I mean, 6 other people sleeping on chairs and on the floor, with their coats to keep them warm, while we're throwing logs onto the fire and whatnot. So you had that, and some people dealt with those conditions better than others.
Yeah, well, production on a film, it's frustrating. The scenes and the shots, you're moving from the written word on a page, and you're trying to bring it into a illusion of real life, and you're also trying to capture a kind of a spirit of the thing or the vibe of the thing. So it's frustrating.
It's a Christmas movie, so Tom decided he'd have it ready for the first screening by December 2011. With that date circled on his calendar, he started looking for a post-production crew to finish the movie. During post-production, all of the recorded footage has to be processed and put together to make the final film. If there were any technical issues that weren't resolved, they now have to be fixed or the media can't be used. Along with making an initial rough cut of the movie, the recorded audio needed to be processed and synced up with the footage, music needed to be written, and visual effects needed to be done. Once again, Tom needed help.
QC failed report. It was rejected for numerous audio and video issues found. Audio phase shifting intermittently throughout entire feature. Audio left and right is not consistent. Cop is off-screen shooting from the left. Effect is heard on the right channel. Yeah, so we gotta fix that. So we got about maybe 100 failed items. I'm also broke. I had to go to work. I gotta pay bills. I gotta live my life. But the film is not done, and I still have to spend more money on Grounded.
They were changing their minds all the time, where some were tattooed here, some were tattooed there. So many people died, and they had to be crossed off the list. If you tattoo it, you know who died. I was born in Warsaw. At that time, my father was a member of the Polish parliament, so we lived in Warsaw. When I was 1 year old, my father wanted to buy a property for me, and we bought a estate that used to belong to Prince Opiecha once upon a time. The property was quite expensive, and it had a lot of land, and it had a lot of forests for lumber, and we had tobacco plantation.
Yeah.
First, there was a Turkish tobacco, but my father discovered that the Virginia tobacco was superior.
Oh, of course.
So we had the American Virginia tobacco planted in our plantation over there. I had a private tutor until I was 11.
You were an only child, right?
Yeah. When I was 11, I was then sent to school back in Warsaw, probably one of the best schools in Poland, founded by King John III. It was called Bielany. It was run by Catholic priests. However, The head priest, he was a colonel in the Polish army during the Polish-Soviet War. Everything was run military style. There was no fooling around.
And they would punish you?
Yes, there was repercussions, you know, but it was a very nice school. Very high standard of learning.
How long did you stay there?
Until the war broke out. September the 1st, 1939. Now, normally, that's the beginning of a school year, September 1st. However, the school was postponed by 1 week because of the uncertainty of the situation. I was elated. I mean, 1 week more of vacation were great, right? I had my horse, Marta, and we used to gallop back and forth. Then the war broke out, and of course the schools, I mean, it was impossible to go back to Warsaw. On the 17th day of the war, the Russians came in.
So you were on the Russian side?
Yes.
And then the other half was on the German side?
Yes. The horses were taken to the Russian army, to the Cossacks. We had a cheese factory, you know. There was about 6,000 heads of cheese. You know, cheese comes in a round head like this. And the cheese was no good for about 6 months. It took 6 months for it to ripen, mature, to ripen. And they took that cheese and ate it. They couldn't eat it because it was awful, you know. And they just threw it, destroyed the whole thing. My father was arrested. There was no such a thing as visiting somebody. You know, my father was an enemy of the people, and what they call Polish pan, krwawa pizza, means Polish lord, blood drinking, you know. That was their conception.
Oh, I see.
So there was nothing there. The only thing is that you could give them laundry, take the laundry back and bring in your laundry. And then all of a sudden they stopped accepting laundry. That meant that my father was no longer there. The situation of food was very bad in Warsaw. So it was decided that I will stay with my uncle, who had a villa just outside suburban Warsaw. We crossed the border one night, and we came back to Warsaw because the situation was food-wise much better. It was close to the country. You had to go to the farmers to buy food all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because the rations that were just not sufficient to survive.
One unique thing about Junior University is the fact that we have an orchestra, 26-piece orchestra. Having Billy's music played by that orchestra is the biggest thrill for me. It's pretty wonderful.
That's not easy to put together and also quite costly. For some reason, Junior University has been able to bring some of the best musicians from around to return every year to run for 14 nights with 2 nights off in between and sound like something from Broadway, that good. Way back when I was in the shows, there was Mr. Will, who was like a high school teacher. And some of the kids from the schools would come and do it, and now they're all professional people.
The orchestras at Junior University have always been not only the frosting on the cake there, but they have been an integral part to telling the stories. And they have been prime. And lately, I think never better than they were this past season. And so the orchestration and the orchestra, the way it presents the orchestration, has just been excellent. I think the audiences have really taken note.
Being able to sing with the orchestra, kids will rarely get that opportunity. A lot of things are taped nowadays.
It's wonderful to hear Billy's music through these expert musicians.
I don't think that Junior University would be as interesting if it didn't have that orchestra.
Absolutely, the live orchestra makes it ever so much more enjoyable.
And that he came up with these amazing melodies to fit all the stories that all the musicals that we do.
It's challenging for any musician. You have to really be on your business to play this music.
You can hear the music blaring through the park. It's so wonderful.
I would cancel all my other gigs for the 3 weeks and say I'm gonna be here.
I live with these shows. They're living in boxes at home in my house, all right? So a show goes to sleep for 10 years, and I haven't heard it. Then my first introduction is to hear the children start to learn the songs, and that's exciting. But when the orchestra comes in and starts to play the music, that's when I feel the essence of Billy is there. I really feel he's there. When that music fills the bowl, I feel him so close to me. I love the orchestra.
Jason 2.0 logging in. Got that logging in?
Good morning.
Good morning, musical robot.
Ooh.
Thank you, robot. Let's eat.
Okay, glitter is fun. It is sparkly. Sparkly is fun.
Sparkly is awesome. It's just anything in a pile on top of a delicious breakfast that you really want to eat is not fun.
Affirmative.
Wow, thanks, robot. Yeah, you're really good at that. Let's eat. Wait. Okay, robot, that was fun. All right, you guys, you ready to help me fill in this hole? Let's end this right. Here we go. 1 shovel,
2 shovels. All right, and your turn. What? Anyone?
All right, how about we all go on an adventure? You ready? Let's go. Walking around the town. Let's go walking around the town. Nothing special, just walking around the town. And then we'll roar. Wow, that was impressive. All right, now we gotta get over to the robot. How about we float like Bubble? Float around the town. We're gonna float around the town like a bubble would float around the town. Back to the robot, float around the town. We're gonna float around the town, and then we'll stop and pop and drop.
If our last experiment was correct, since Jason didn't get to choose what to do, he shouldn't be able to have fun doing it. Let's check in on him and see how miserable he is.
Just a pirate playing on the sand, making sandcastles with my one good hand. I truly love the sea and I should hate the land, but with just one good hand.
There's a place we all end up when we've failed. It's not listed on any map, but you can see it when you open your eyes. For me, that spot is always a tumble-down arena. It is here I'll pay my debt to those I've betrayed. My wife is why I owe a debt tonight, and my opponent will collect. He's the machine, and you need to supply the fuel for the machine to churn out salvation. That's what I find my jabs, hooks, and crosses are tonight. So I've been told, and soon I will find out. Joining the miserable and melancholy, the hopeless and dispassionate.
Tanto tiempo disfrutamos ese amor, nuestras almas se acercaron, tanto así que yo guardo.
What is it? What is it?
We gotta go. Coach Martin is here to recruit you and offer you a scholarship so you can play basketball. Can he? Okay.
I'm gonna be me.
Please be nice to this man. No, baby, I can't afford your tuition.
Mom, I'll go to a plumbing school. I'll go to a vocational school before I just relinquish my rights, my talent. For what? Like, this scholarship.
I had just gotten to the part you would have liked. You know, about the craftsmanship, the glass perfection. Then the boy raised his hand and asked about the black splotch in the upper left-hand corner. Looks like a mistake, he shouted. The Bates boy pushed past against the red velvet rope. Then he looked behind him as if what he saw was a reflection of a man dressed in black standing at his shoulder. Except he said, "Looks like a man dressed like me." But I couldn't see his face. Now it's gone. That's what he said.
Go on. Tell me about the Reaper. That's where your story was headed, right? On occasion, the chosen few will see the Reaper's image in the glass. Tell me about the horrific fate of the boy that I'll be unable to explain away with science or logic. Was he later hit by a car? Did he jump out of a window? Was he perhaps found drowned in a fishbowl?
You told me you're conversant with the history of the mayor, so you should know that there were no horrific circumstances that followed. Never have been. That lack of proof keeps the Delver glass from becoming as famous as the curse on King Tut's tomb.
This isn't the mirror, Carlin. What are you trying to pull? You haven't even covered it.
Perhaps if left uncovered, maybe it would go blind.
You fool. I thought the rock had caused no damage to it. Speak up. Friction tape. There is friction tape on that corner. Did the rock crack it?
You're seeing the Reaper, Spangler. There isn't any friction tape. Put your hand over it.
See? Nothing supernatural. My hand covers it.
Covers it, you say? Pull your hand off.
It's gone. Or perhaps it was a shadow. The reflection.
Admit it. It looked like him, didn't it? A hooded figure standing behind you, just over your shoulder.
I know. Like me. My clothes, my movements, but not my face or body.
Are you trying to scare me, Spangler? Here, let me try. The Bates boy was a big kid. A ball player, probably.
But in my suit? How is that possible?
Hi, darling. How are you doing? Hey, Shelly. I'm good. How are you? Good. Doing the usual? Yeah, usual. Please pass. Glue room. Sounds good. There you go, honey. You're welcome.
Hi there. Can I get you another of what you're having there?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, suit yourself. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Actually, you know what? I could use something a little harder.
Oh, now. You know what? I like the way that new attitude looks on you. Can you hit us up with a couple of silvers?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So what's your name?
I'm Jennifer, but my friends call me Jenny.
Is that what we are now, friends?
Well, maybe if you get me another one of these.
All right, down the hatch.
1906, Kishner Manor sits on 12 acres of exotic fruit orchards. This grand hall is an exhibition space in its own right. You'll be amazed at the detail work, with its columns and patterns, made into a comfortable living room. The windows run from the marble floors upwards to palatial ceilings 2 stories high. Nestled by the fireplace beneath coffered ceilings in this plush open space that showcases exceptional design with fine quality materials. Cross the bridge to Corinthian columns, a rock waterfall amid desert plants, and a full-size Madonna and Child. Relax in this contemplative island space.
In the not-so-distant future, as world factions struggle for dominance, who will be the last one standing after the great battle for Mars Outpost? Surviving Tharsis Montes. Available for download today.
Ready, set, rocket!
What is fun? What is fun? What's something you enjoyed and you knew it when you were done? What is fun? What is fun? What's something you enjoyed and you knew it when you were done?
We found out early on that kids don't want to listen to you play your music. They want to be a part of what you're doing.
Musical robot! Musical robot!
Ready, set, robot. A robot came to Earth in search of fun. He wanted to be friends with everyone, but frightened kids, and so when he was done, he really didn't have a friend at all. Then when he was just about to go, he met Scottbot and Jason 2.0. They said, we'll help you know what you should know, and really we could kinda use a home. Musical robot, gonna explore and grow up a lot. Musical robot, we'll dance and sing and learn and love and play.
Wake up, robot!
Initiating reboot.
is fun? What is fun? What's something you enjoyed and you knew it when you were done? What is fun? What is fun? What's something you enjoyed and you knew it when you were done? What is fun? What is fun? What's something you...